Hello, class. I'm just enjoying a nice, beautiful day here in California reading a book called Nature's Fury. Perhaps you've heard of it. Maybe not. It seems to be a good book so far, but it's talking about a bunch of wildfires in California. Since I live in California, you'd think I'd be the first to know if there was wildfires happening in my area. Do you students think that wildfires could still happen today? Think about it for a second. I'm going to go back to reading my book, Nature's Fury, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I have.
Alright class, I hope all of you are having a great day so far. That was my virtual buddy Alex, and now I am the virtual Mr. Erickson, and I'll be taking you through part of the lesson today. We've been reading Nature's Fury for a few weeks now. While looking at your papers from the other day, I decided that we should work on page 22 together as a class. Please open your workbooks and turn to page 22, and title your paper with page 22 so that I know what to grade. Even if you have already completed this section, please follow along and write the answers on your paper while following along with me. Your grade depends on it. We will not be writing everything on this page, so relax. We will just be writing the answers as a review. In order to begin a page that looks similar to this and is titled Read on Your Own, the first thing I would do is title my paper with the page number and the title Read on Your Own. The next thing I would do is title my first section of the page that I'm going to work on. In this case, it will be Before You Read. Next, as long as I have been meeting expectations all class and do not have to write the questions out, I would look at the question and prepare to answer it. At the top of page 22, you can see that the question we are to answer is, think about the last pages you read in California Burning. What was the most heroic deed you read about in these pages? The first thing I will do is think about what I read in the book so far. I can remember that the heroic acts of firefighters Matt Buzzell and Scott Fenton were that they saved a woman and her husband from a fire. Next, I would also recall that I read about Steve Rucker, who was the firefighter that gave his life while fighting a fire and was honored for his ultimate sacrifice. After thinking about those for a second, the most heroic deed that I read about would have to be the fact that Steve Rucker gave his life to try to save other people's lives and property. Going back to my paper, and to answer the Before You Read question, I would answer it in a complete sentence and say, the most heroic deed that I read about so far in Nature's Fury would have to be the part of the story when Steve Rucker gave his life fighting a fire while trying to save others' lives and property. Now I have completed Before You Read section, so I would look at the As You Read section. The first thing the page is asking me to do is to read Sharing the Work on pages 28 and 29 in my Nature's Fury book. Notice the stop sign after the page numbers. The stop sign would tell me to stop after reading Sharing the Work on page 29. Let's read as a class pages 28 and 29. I will read the story aloud to you guys and will pause occasionally to ensure everyone is following along. When I pause, you should say the word that I pause at, but keep in mind I will have to pause briefly at punctuation and at the end of sentences. We call this oral close. We have used this strategy in the past, but now you know what we call this strategy, so we will refer to it as oral close from here on out. We will begin reading pages 28 and 29. Great job, class. Now look at the information they give us in the box underneath where it says sharing the work. They provide us with the topic, getting help from others. Then they provide us with the supporting details. Again, unless I have earned the privilege of copying all the workbook pages for the day, I will only have to complete the last box. Alright, the supporting details that they give us are: first, they got help from the Marines. Second, the firefighters came all the way from Mexico. Now we have to figure out what the unstated main idea is. I would probably write on my paper, sharing the work, so that way I have my title, and then I would write, the unstated main idea of sharing the work is local firefighters did not have to battle the fires alone. Alright class, it's your favorite part. It's your turn. I want you to do the same thing that we just did together, but you're going to do it for the section titled Cooling Off. You'll have about 10 minutes to get this part complete, so stay on task and do not talk. You should do just as we did with the previous section by reading the pages first, then read the information they provide us, and finally writing down the unstated main idea for what we read. When you finish with that, raise your hand and I will come check your work and tell you what to do next. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Hello there, class. It's me again, Alex. I'm sorry, I was just enjoying reading this book, Nature's Fury. Yeah, it smells like there's some kind of fire going on here. Whoa, will you look at that? Oh, I gotta get out of here, class. I guess forest fires do really still happen. I'll see you later.